Hey DeoGenZ, what is this be? It's Gaming Gauntlet podcast, you see. From current gen to even retro, I share with you all the info I know. We pull samurai blades, don't forget to save. This gauntlet can flaunt it so even trolls are phased. Come push start, get ready to play. Gaming Gauntlet is here today. Hey everybody, it's me, DeoGenZ, and welcome to another Gaming Gauntlet. This time we're talking all about Nintendo. As I said, I'm your host, DeoGenZ. DGZ! I love that hat. But today I am doing this recording a bit different. Normally I would have the big honking headphones on and I'd be like, talking in good high quality and all that. And of course high quality video, which, as I could already see from the graininess of this, I might want to turn back on the lights. Okay, that's better. See, I am just experimenting right now with a new method of recording that can get these out, not quicker because they're always every Friday, but it is a lot easier for the editing side of it all if I can record earlier in the week during college, which is where I'm at right now. So that's why you're on a weird camera angle looking kind of slanted up at my face, and it's very bright. But before I had it so the iPad was pushed back, and you guys were staring directly at the lights, and that was no good. It was blinding everyone, including me. So, today we are going to talk about Nintendo and why they disappoint me. For those of you who didn't know, I used to run a podcast with my friend Ryan Church back I don't even know how long ago it was, but a couple of years ago we did, and when Ryan went to college, he said, I don't want to deal with this Nintendo radio business anymore, it's just too much to manage, so you, Dio, you do the podcast, you if you want, or, have the YouTube. It's all yours. You can drop it like it's hot, or you can keep it rolling with what you got. And so that's when I decided to turn it into a Pokemon-centric theme channel and then back into a Let's Play channel, because there's more than just Pokemon that I play. Now, in those times of Wii and DS, I learned a lot about Nintendo. I was a bit of a fanboy, a very Nintendo-centric person. I didn't play any other games. Now, fanboyism is different than poverty, okay? Quite frankly, it's a lot easier to buy games for one franchise, or at least one company, than it is to, say, try and keep up with all the cachet of games for the three systems, Wii, PS3, and 360. So for the longest time, I was only exposed to Wii. Now, I always stuck up for Wii. I did. I was one of those people who said, okay, the graphics, they're not good, but at that point, I thought it was, why are you even bothering? Why are you even bothering to slash Nintendo once more on a product that was released years ago? Obviously, they're not going to do chip upgrades. Obviously, they're not going to do graphical upgrades or anything, and of course, now that we're moving into Wii U territory, they just went ahead and did a new console. And I can't yet applaud them for Wii U even in the least bit, because it's just getting up to current day standards, it seems. And from what they've done at E3 and what they've showed off with the tech and software, I don't see anything to pull me into it. And that is a first for me. That is a really big thing. I want to record this podcast and talk about my disappointments and why I'm kind of transforming into a now PC gamer. Not politically correct, not by any long shot, but computers. I am mainly staying there, and it's all thanks to Steam. But Wii U, it's a first for me that I'm not super excited about a new Nintendo console. Normally, I would be looking it up and trying to find, where are the midnight releases going to be. Not that I would ever go to them, but hopefully somebody's streaming them. And I would try to find websites where I could get the cheapest console. I actually overpaid for my Wii. I paid $300 for it. Can you believe that? $300. Last time I do that. If I care about Wii U, it's going to be at the end of the console's life cycle when a whole massive list of games comes out for it. And that was Wii's big issue. For so long, it suffered from a minuscule library. Yeah, okay, if you want to talk about numbers, it had a vast majority of games for the casual core, but that was it. And that was where Nintendo started to go downhill, for me at least. because being a hardcore gamer, being someone who was introduced to Nintendo by the original Super Mario Bros. On the NES. I didn't play it on the NES. In my generation, I played it on my cousin's Game Boy Color. And then from there, it was the time when the Game Boy Advance came out, and I went, and unfortunately they didn't have that version of Mario Bros. And that's where I picked up Crystal. I picked up Super Mario Bros. Advance 2. So that was where I got my start with Nintendo, was their main franchise big sellers, Pokemon and Mario. At the time, I didn't know that Mario was an incredibly easy platformer. And I think that it's been progressively getting easier. I feel like the difficulty level has been turned way down. I remember definitely Mario Advance 2 being tougher than any of the current gen Marios that are out there. As soon as New Super Mario Bros. Came out, I mean, it was a novel idea at the time, but then they started to milk it. Then they were like, oh look, we've got a name that people are familiar with, and because we don't want to scare away the casual core, let's not call our games anything complex. Let's not be original anymore. Let's just say Mario. Ooh, for Mario on Wii U. Or, Super Mario 3D Land. Like, really, guys? You don't have a creative team of semantics developers? I mean, for fuck's sake. You come out with these amazing, crazy concepts, like a plumber going after a giant mutant turtle to save a princess. What? And you can't think up a more clever name than Super Mario Land 3D. Super Mario Land 3D was a good game, but that too, incredibly easy, no difficulty at all. I wish I didn't buy the game. I honestly don't want the game anymore, because once you get all the coins, and I'm not even a big collection hog either, so that's kind of the thing that makes it not last as long for me. I just don't have my focus grasped by coin collection missions, and I want to see something. Yeah, you see this angle, this is horrible. This is, no matter how you look at it, my eyes are in a shadow, but that's fine. I'm going to keep on the Nintendo hat. Because I still love Nintendo, and that's why I'm making this podcast about them, because there was a golden age of Nintendo. Back in the 80s, before I was even born, there was a almost deletion, complete erasure of video games from history, because people were piling on really crappy, poorly programmed games just to cash in on the phenomenon, because arcades were, giving out getting copious quarters from their popular machines. I don't even know if arcades were. Yes, arcades were. They were the first, and this was the era of the home video game system. So now, developers, I don't know how they were approved. They came in and they made all these crazy, not even tested, horrible concept video games that were absolute garbage. One that really sticks out in history is E.T. Even if you watch Code Monkeys on G4, they had a great E.T. episode, and it was hilarious. But that's where the Nintendo Golden Seal of Approval came from. Nintendo back then had to scan all the games, go through all the games that they were going to put on their console, the NES, and they had to be sure that it had quality to it, that it was actually something that, people would want to play, not just, oh look, there's an 8-bit graphic guy that I can move around with a D-pad. Who cares? If it's not captivating gameplay, if it's not an interesting story, then why am I invested in getting this game? Why am I going to waste money on it? Now, games did not cost as much as they did back then, but people were getting very skeptical of games as an entertainment medium because of all these crappy titles that just flooded the market back then. I'm not big on Nintendo history. This that I know is just from watching some shows. I know that before they started out as a card manufacturing company, not greeting cards, but playing cards. And you could actually see that on Club Nintendo. They now have, I don't think it's the old versions of the cards they made, but they make new playing cards. And that's pretty cool to see them give that out as a bonus, but we'll get to Club Nintendo soon enough. So Nintendo back in the day was the superheroes of video games. They really re-stimulated the market with Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt. Once people got a hold of those and saw how greatly programmed they were, how solid the mechanics of Mario's jump maneuvers were, and how revolutionary Duck Hunt was, Now, even though it used, I guess, an IR blaster, so it's it's got the gun, and you just point at the screen and shoot. That is crazy. That's revolutionary, and that's almost on the level of what they would do later with the Wii, but really dropped the ball when it came to Wii. Humongously dropped the ball. Diabolically so. So I don't know why. Why can they not return to that great state? You know what it probably is the hyper amounts of competition. Because in a world where E.T. was a popular game just because tons of people bought it, there were no review sites back then, there was no internet for people, for the most part, there was no internet for people to access. It was still, computers taking up the size of rooms. So people couldn't really get reviews. The best thing they had was Nintendo Power. And Nintendo Power would tell you what's coming up. It would give you game strategies. It would give you maps of Zelda so you could actually figure out where you're going. And, some of those older NES titles for me don't hold up. Zelda, not my game. And I also found out that Mario Bros. Is not my game either, which is funny because this is what got the whole ball rolling. If my cousin didn't have his Game Boy Color just sitting over off in the corner, and I wanted a Game Boy so bad, I saw other people playing Pokemon all the time, but, money issue. You don't have the money, you're not going to get it. But I saw it, and I was like, oh my gosh, you got Mario? And what made that game for me was the save feature. I don't know the tech reasons for NES not saving games, but it was either a password that you would have to enter in to get back to the progress that you already had made, or there was just no save at all, fuck you, and go start it again. I don't like that at all. I really don't like that. I come from the generation of Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance when there is a save feature, and that cartridge that you hold on to is your adventure. Now, of course, everybody knows the Crystal story. With me, I had my Crystal cartridge taken away from me because I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle everything else in life. All I wanted to do was fixate on playing Pokemon. So my parents took it away from me. They brought it out to sea because my dad's a merchant marine, and it was there for a whole year. A whole year of me not ever entering into the save file, and then eventually the data was erased. But aside from the internal battery running dry, and I don't think the Game Boy Advance had that issue, I think it was only really a Game Boy Color situation. At least it's not yet happened to any of my Game Boy Advance games, fingers crossed. It was your adventure. That was what you had compiled with your experiences, your time, and there's real-world memories going on for me. I think about, I was at this place while I was going through here. I released a sea turtle when I went to go capture Pseudo-Wudo. Really cool things like that. So I'm of the generation that games are starting to, at this point in my life, really become a part of your life. And just by initiating the save, just by keeping your progress, that is a revolutionary concept that people take for granted now. Imagine if you had to go through Fallout 3 and there was no saves. It was just keep playing and maybe we'll give you a 1,000-page password so you can get to sort of where you were. That would be bonkers. That would be insane. But people don't realize that was what it was back then. And Nintendo really stepped it up. I mean, the Game Boy Color, still in this time, not a lot of competition. There was no Sony PSP. There was no iPods. There was no iPads or anything for Androids or any of these mobile game developers out that are making really fantastic titles on such tiny devices. I mean, I don't know if you guys have heard of a game called Nova, but it's available on this, and also I believe it is also on the iPad. It's a fantastic first-person shooter. I don't like touchscreens, though, for controls, just because the screen slips out of my hands, and I'm trying to not die, and things get hectic with that. But, I am becoming more of a computer gamer, and now I'm switching to mouse and keyboard, which was something I thought I would never, ever touch, because the gamepad controllers were just too comfortable. I thought, why would I ever want to stumble around a clumsy keyboard? What's the advantage of moving around with a mouse? Headshots almost every time if you're good. That's what the advantage is. So, Nintendo really hooked me in. I mean, I am still, at my core, a Nintendo fanboy, and I always want to be. but damn, they made it difficult during the Wii generation. You know, the DS was a great continuation. It was a great continuation of Nintendo's portable legacy. And it's sad, now that we're in the generation of 3DS, that people just aren't paying attention to it. And I can't blame them. You know, I too am ignoring the 3DS, as horrible as that sounds. I didn't even get the Kid Icarus game that came out. I haven't heard a thing about it. Haven't heard a word. The last game I got for my 3DS, I believe, was Ocarina of Time 3D. And that's it. You know, very similar to the Wii's launch. It was not a huge set of titles, and that's acceptable. That's fine. I understand that this is completely brand new technology. People don't have the kits to get it. People don't have any idea how to use the program yet, or how to maximize the hardware's capabilities. Like, what can I even do with 3D? Why does it matter in my game? I mean, even the new Super Mario Bros. 2 that came out, or whatever the hell it's called. See, I don't even know what the new Super Mario Bros. Is called anymore. New Super Mario's 3D is probably what it's called. That one, that Matt Goldsman told me, utilized 3D horribly. The background textures were blurry. It didn't really help out in any way, shape, or form with gameplay. You didn't think that you were not going to stomp on a Goomba before because you were playing in 2D and now you're in 3D, so I'll get them every time. No, it doesn't work that way with a 2D side-scroller, and apparently they didn't do really much interactive things with the background. It would have been so cool if they had like a little diorama in the background, always changing, always constantly shifting with whatever level Mario was on. So if you're in the ice world, you see penguins waddling about, you see them building big-ass snowmen and stuff. Why couldn't you have done something simple, aesthetically pleasing more than just, oh, you get tons and tons of coins everywhere, so it's incredibly easy and almost impossible to lose at that game. Oh, and if you're really, really noobish and you lose time and time and time and time again, we could just play the level for you. Don't worry about it. Just hit that button and we'll take care of it for you. You could go on to the next one. I see what they're trying to do there. You know, I understand the frustrations that you can get when you're locked down to one level. That was the problem I had with Lilt Line, was that you only had this one level. The game was ridiculously hard to start with. I mean, it is a giant learning curve to learn how to move the Wii Remote and not run into the sides or anything like that. But once you got it, you felt like you accomplished so much because it was a difficult game. And if you want people to not be defeated and want to throw your game to the side because it's too difficult as a platformer, I mean, this is the company that made Super Mario Bros. 2, the original real Super Mario Bros. 2, okay? I'm not talking the Doki Doki Panic version of Mario, which is what we got here in the States because apparently the Japanese think we are not real gamers and that we can't handle ourselves with platforms. But let me decide what I can and cannot handle. Okay, Nintendo? If I can't, then I won't buy the game. And you will see that in sales. But they didn't want to risk it. You know, they did not want to risk any money loss. So they made the fake Doki Doki Panic version, and I cannot believe they were not sued for that at all. Still, to this day, how were they not sued? I don't know. Texture packs, that's all it really takes. If I do a retexture design of Minecraft and call it DGZ Craft, is it really going to be my game? No! I don't know how Nintendo got off with that one. That was a magic mushroom trip of theirs to jump down a pipe and evade all lawsuits from that. But they made a ridiculously difficult. I downloaded it on the WiiWare, and I still haven't beaten it yet because it's that hard. But again, I don't really like it because there's no saves. But if you save the progress, if I went from level 1 to level 2 and I have to go somewhere, can you please let me go back there? I mean, come on. Come on. But, you know, Mario 2 in the Japanese version was difficult as hell. How did it go from that to, we're just going to play the game for you? You could do this every level. You seriously just have to jump down a cliff, jump down a cliff, jump down a cliff, run to Goomba, jump down a cliff, and then the button will show up, and you don't even have to play the game. You could be a fake LPer of Mario games at this point because they're that easy. You could just hit that button before anybody notices that you died so many times, and you know, then record the game going through it itself. Now, eventually somebody's going to catch on, obviously, because they take note of your life up there, and also that you're doing a kind of computer-simulated model jump that looks eerily similar to Nintendo's auto win of the level. But why? There's so many better ways to not get your gamers frustrated because they're stuck on one level and they can't get out of it without having to completely demolish the difficulty. Why is it, Nintendo, that it's either ridiculously vamped up hard, in the case of Mario 2, that was absurd, and I don't even know the difficult parts of it because I don't have the patience to wait with no save files. That's my own fault. You know, just because I'm an inadequate gamer, because I'm not pro, does not mean everybody else who's a hardcore gamer or a fan of platformers should have to suffer because I'm shitty at that particular game. Who cares? Screw you. Go play a simpler platformer if you want. There's tons of them out there. But do something like Super Meat Boy did. It let you see the entire world of levels, okay? And it let you go travel through World 1-1, World 1-2, however you wanted to go throughout that game, you could. You could go all the way to the end level, and, well, actually, could you do that? I don't remember. I think you did have to unlock it. But there was a certain point where you could just go throughout the levels. This way, okay, this one, ridiculously tough. And I think what the stipulation for Meat Boy was that you had to complete a certain amount of levels within the world. So if over the course of the game you got better, which is naturally going to happen after you kind of learn the controls better, you get a feel for the game, you understand the jump mechanics of wall jumps and all that, you will get better. You will progressively get better. And for that, you can go back to those difficult levels that kicked your ass before and then win and then feel victory. I feel nothing with Nintendo anymore, and that's bad. That's why I'm ignoring 3DS. That's why I don't give a fuck about Wii U. It's not even that they're not innovating. I mean, yeah, that's a huge problem. And Nintendo, you were known for innovation. The Wii was a great idea, but poorly executed. Oh, diabolically executed. All they did was try and appease the casual core. They're like, monies! I take Mario 3D, New Super Mario, Go Fuck Yourself coin world as an insult. I take that as an insult as a Nintendo fan and as a gamer. Because not only are you laughing at my skill as a gamer and misrepresenting that in this vast world of endless lives, but you're also rubbing it in my face that your DS just printed money. Just kept printing out money. Money, 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 money. But you know why it kept printing out money? Because there was actual games for it. There was actual developers on that system. There was not just Nintendo and then a couple of other crappy casual core carnival games creators. No, there was epic RPGs. The World Ends With You. I mean, there's so many. But you just didn't have that on Wii. I don't know what the deal was. Was it that hard to get a Wii kit, or just did people not care about it? It probably was people didn't care about it. And back in the Nintendo radio days, I always tried to give Nintendo a fair rap. I said, give it time, guys, give it time. Good games are on the way. Good games are on the way. And then when they actually do something right, and they get a great development team like High Voltage on their side, and they get an amazing conduit out on their system, they don't even recognize how amazing it is. I looked into it, and I looked into what High Voltage was doing, and they did a lot of technically impressive things on the Wii to get it to look as good as it did without HD. They did some phenomenal things with the polygons. And now, we're not getting Grinder. I mean, originally, Grinder was a Wii exclusive. Did the Conduit 2 come out? I don't even know. I think it did. I should really get that game. Just to support High Voltage, not Nintendo. But, you know, they didn't advertise it at all. I never saw anywhere the Conduit. And they never tried to, appeal to the hardcore gamers, which was originally what Nintendo was comprised of. They never said, hey guys, all you geeks and freaks out there, you're going to appreciate this. Look at what this development team did, working so hard to bring you guys some great looking and great play worthability with content. And that's what High Voltage did, and it went pretty much unnoticed. And that bothers me a big time. What else? Mad World. That was another one. You know, we always got the rep as being the casual core kiddie machine. And because of that, Nintendo didn't step up. They were too much of pussies for losing some money, losing a tiny bit of interest because they have one violent game. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? You're going to appease the idiots, the Jones out there who can't handle censorship, who say there should be no curse words ever on TV, there should be no, that everything should just be wrapped in bubble wrap, and everything should be nerfed and safe. Fuck those people. If they can't monitor what their kids do, if they cannot raise their kids to understand that a video game is a video game, and that shooting people in a video game does not apply to the real world, there's real world consequences. You hurt real people. Get that through your head. If you are trying to appease to those idiots, then you've lowered the bar of your company. You've lowered it below the floor to where I don't even want to dig it up anymore. I don't want to even know what you're doing, Nintendo, because you've lost my respect. You appeased these people who can't handle one violent game on Wii. One violent fucking game. And it was comic book style. It wasn't even hyper-realistic like GTA, which is not super hyper-realistic, but it's more realistic than something like Saints Row. But both violent games, and so is Mad World, but they completely ignored it. They said, we don't need the hardcore, come on, we got all the casual core, we got this. But in the shadows lurked the iPod, the Android, and all the other different devices that now consumes every casual person. Because casual people, Nintendo, as you seem to forget, don't like video games for real. It's an interesting 5-minute passe, blase, whatever. I'm going to play it because I'm bored. But I'd rather get this. This, which I don't have to get an extra console. This, which I don't have to carry around an alternate controller. This, which does everything for me. It's my phone, it's my email, it's everything that I do. And if I'm not a gamer, why the hell would I care about your portable? Why the hell would I give a shit if you made a new console? I don't give a fuck. And this is what's happening with Wii U. Because I didn't even know for a couple of weeks that the Wii U was a new console. I thought it was a new controller or something for the already established Wii, and that it would have HD graphics in the controller. And I said, wow, you guys have come up with some pretty crazy and stupid peripherals in your time, but this one really takes the cake. Why don't you just come out with a new system? I didn't know it was the new system. But it's because of their fear of letting go of that casual core, which they don't even realize has already slipped through their fingers. They're gone. They're on this. They're on this. And they're not coming back. Because Words with Friends, Angry Birds, is way more captivating than some game that I have to constantly load the save file, constantly have to care about what the story is. I don't care. If I'm a casual core guy, I am just looking for 5 minutes of boredom uptake so that I don't have to just sit around staring at a wall while I'm waiting for something, and I don't need your system to do that. 3DS is huge in comparison to everything else out there, compared to this, even with the case on. Even the PSP. Super slim, sleek, sexy, and fits in your pocket easily. The 3DS, bulky. It's got this dual screen, which that broke on my DS Lite because the hinge popped from too much use of using it. So that always grinds my gears. The thought that eventually, because I like to play DS so much and turning up the screen, down the screen, up the screen, down the screen, eventually this is going to die. Great. They're not going to care. They're not going to want to lug around that system. And that's the big mistake. You said, screw you, hardcore, and good luck getting them back. Good luck. I'm listening, because I still love the Nintendo developers. And I don't know what's going on at the company. I am an outsider, ranting, raving, and I don't even know how to make a video game. Who the fuck am I to be raving about Nintendo? Why don't I make a game? Exactly. But I am analyzing business strategies as a consumer. And I am moving towards PC, and I want to let Nintendo know big time why that is. Because I love them. I love their Nintendo development teams. I only played exclusively Nintendo games, only for the longest time. I think the first game that I got that wasn't a Nintendo game was Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, and the only reason I did that was because, there's some Disney characters, they're familiar, maybe this will be a good game. and they depend far too much on the familiarity of characters, i.e. Sonic and Mario at the Olympics. Who cares? Who cares where the fuck they go? What Olympic year you're on? You've lost the casual core. They don't care about Mario. They don't care about Sonic. Do they even know who Sonic is? Do they even know that he started out on the Genesis? Or did he not? I'm probably making an erroneous mistake saying that, but who cares? Anyway, they don't know. They don't have any relationship or attachment to Sonic. They like Angry Birds. There's Angry Bird plushies. They're so cute. Look at the piggies that I get to knock down. That's what they care about. They care about consuming crap. And when you're trying to multitask your company to not only just be casual core, but also be hardcore, and you know the strategy to win the casual core is by giving them a bunch of stupid shit for them to buy, you're going to turn off a lot of people. Because, let's see. We had the Wii Zapper, we had the balance board, we had the Wii Motion Plus. What about that microphone system, the Wii Speak, that was only used in Animal Crossing? Only Animal Crossing. I don't know any other game that uses it besides that. And then the channel on Wii that actually communicates Wii to Wii. And let's not forget how cumbersome, Nintendo, you make everything with connection. It's not just, hey, what's your console code, and we'll be friends foreverist, and if you get a new game and I get a new game, or if I have a username and you have a username, and I can be an adult and accept you, instead of, having to say, I accept the terms, and if you're 18 or under, bring an adult or here, and then accept the terms. If they don't, if they're younger and they accept and they get offended, that's their fault. You're not held responsible for that because you already gave them the list of stipulations saying that this is what it's going to be, but no, you didn't. Instead, you went with the friend code system. Every freaking game has a friend code, and nobody wanted to trade friend codes with me. I never got anybody to trade Metroid Prime 3 tokens. Never. Never. I rarely got people to verse me on Mario Kart. I have no friends on Mario Kart. Not Wii. I have plenty on 3DS because that's a console code. But they're already thinking of not doing that on Wii U, which is another reason I don't care about it. It's not conducive to gaming. At all. At all. You make this lone experience, and then you lock it down to where nobody else can play with each other. What do you expect is going to happen to the hardcore? We're all going to Steam. And guess what, Nintendo? There are rumors circulating about, and you better quake in your boots. Because guess what? You've been beat. You failed at the casual core. You failed at the casual core game. You failed. You may have gotten a short stimulus from it, but overall you failed. Because more people have an iPod than have a Wii or a DS. More people have a smartphone than a Wii or a DS. And those people play. Those people love to play because they just want to fill the 5 minutes of boredom with words with friends and be done with it. But they don't want to invest or become known as a gamer and really get into the games that you're working so hard apparently to program. And I shouldn't be sarcastic when I say that because I've seen the innards of games. I tried to program games before. I've made an RPG. It's frustrating as hell. Frustrating. I want to slam my face into the table every time I look at it because it's code amongst code amongst code, and it wasn't even that bad because I was doing RPG Maker, software that I never know how to develop, and so I understand that it's difficult to make these games. But that's why I'm trying to stress to you, Nintendo, don't focus on the casual core. You're done. You lost that race. It's over. They're gone. They fled already. They're already moved on to smaller, thinner, sleeker, and better things that, guess what, keep them connected. Because do I need a special friend code to communicate with anybody on a phone? Do I need a special number that's like 1,000 digits long to talk to somebody on Skype if there's Wi-Fi in the area? No. I just hop on, and if somebody's around, I can talk to them. I can say, hey, you want to do this? You want to do that? You want to meet up in real life, or do you want to play a game? And then, boom, initiation. We have fun. It's what you seem to have forgotten, Nintendo, was games are for fun. And you don't realize that, apparently you don't realize, that the difficulty level has gotten so disastrous. At the very least, enter in a difficulty setting. Finally, after how many years have we had Pokemon on the market of a repeated storyline, of repeated characters that just have a new reskin on them? How many years did it take before we finally, with Black 2 and White 2, have a difficulty level? And I like the way they're doing this. White 2, you can opt to have the difficulty lessened. The only thing is, I don't understand this, you can only do that after you beat the Elite Four, which is counterintuitive because if somebody is not able to beat the game as it is, how are they going to get to the Elite Four to make it easier? And at that point, wouldn't they want things to get more difficult? Wouldn't they want to take on bigger challenges? I guess not. But at least with Black 2, they allow you to upgrade the difficulty once you beat the Elite Four. And that's phenomenal. Why couldn't you do that with more games? Why couldn't you do that with Mario? Why did you have to make things so ridiculously simple? I'm not asking for all new maps on Mario. I'm saying less obstacles or more enemies. Options like that. Simple customization. That's all I want. That's all I'm asking. Look at the success of Minecraft and how everybody makes these new texture packs to play with. And it's a perpetually endless game. And it's so connective. All you need to do is ping into a server and you're there. Playing with, tens of 20. I don't know how much a server can hold. Probably 20 would be a safe bet before things start to go haywire and lag a lot. People at a time, and you're building together. You're communicating in the chat. It's all seamless. It's all integrated. And it's all your experience because if you want to play with the Candyland texture pack, you go ahead. But a friend is not forced to do that. They can play on the Super High World Tech texture pack. Great. Everybody gets what they want. On Brawl, it was locked down. The Wi-Fi, which you delayed the launch of that for so long. And I love Brawl. I'm not complaining about Brawl. But after all of the time it took, you still couldn't get the Wi-Fi? I mean, I think it's the infrastructure of the Wii that failed, and they just don't want to say it. They don't want to say that, well, we made a lot of miscalculations, and, I hate to tell you, but we really fucked up Wi-Fi on Wii. That's why there's not many Wi-Fi titles on Wii. Everything online is Wi-Fi, just about, or at least has some kind of mod that you can do to it, or some kind of alteration to make the game continue on. Jurassic Park Trespasser, which was a game that, I don't even remember when it came out, to be honest with you, but it was around the time of Half-Life, and Half-Life was inspired by the physics engine of Jurassic Park Trespasser, and they ended up using some elements of that in Half-Life, did it a lot more polished, they had a lot more time to work with it, and Valve is definitely my new favorite company. I am a Valve person all the way. I'm going to have to get a Valve hat that says DeoGenZ on it because I'm misrepresenting what I do now. I used to be Nintendo. I used to only play Nintendo games, but now companies who are interconnecting everyone, like Steam, and now it's going to get even more beautiful because I can go back to just being a Steam person. I don't have to be a PC know-it-all, and I don't have to constantly upgrade graphics card. It's frustrating as all hell, and this is why I stayed away from PC. It's frustrating as all hell when you get a new game. I just recently got Dead Island, and I tried to play with a friend, and we couldn't because something happened. Something happened. I got the most recent update with the graphics card, but something is making it go all polygonally wrong, and I have no solution for it, and all I have to depend on are forums. A bunch of trolls in some cases that are just trying to misdirect you and maybe mess up your game even worse. Great. Yeah, go ahead, just delete that ini file there. Everything will be good. Fuck you. I know what an ini file is now, but I didn't know that at first. And that's what really kept me away from PC gaming was the fact that it's not user-friendly in the least bit. But that gaming experience, once you get the right set, you get the right settings, graphics, whatever else you need, whew, what an amazing experience. I've never gamed as much as I have now. Usually during the summers, I would be suffering from a gaming drought. I would be so bored out of my mind. And I remember there was a time when I thought about quitting video games altogether because there were some things going on in my life, and I was like, you know what, this is just wasting my time. I'm sitting here waiting for games that aren't even going to come out, and the games that they say do or, do come out aren't as good as they are, hyped up to be. I'm just going to quit gaming. And that was under Nintendo, okay? That was under Nintendo when I saw no hope for the future and I did not have any connectivity. That was before I got into forums. I was like, What's the point? Everybody hates me. Nobody wants to talk to me because I'm a gamer, and nobody can relate to me. Luckily, I learn how to relate to other people now because I am manipulatable, meaning I can mold anyone into what I want to be as long as I have my words. But no, really, it's horrible to be a gamer back then because nobody wanted to talk to you, and if you didn't know about forums, you had no friends. And you had nobody to play with. It was a lonesome experience. There was no such time that I was able to access multiplayer. I could never play Metroid Prime 2 multiplayer, which I always wanted to try out, and thought it was piss poor that Nintendo didn't at least attempt to include that in the Metroid Prime trilogy. I understand that was a collector's edition, and they don't even sell it anymore. But at least make it worth for me to buy again. I mean, it is because the play controls. But now you see what Nintendo does. They get into a constant cycle of repackaging things. And games that I've already played, I'm seeing again still. And I've had enough of it. I've been driven crazy up the wall and almost out of the gaming realm completely because it was such a lonesome and non-stimulating experience because it took too long for releases to get out. And it's not even that I'm complaining about Nintendo's speed. They make great games when they try to program some difficulty in them. I can't speak for today's games that Nintendo comes out with. I just can't. They are not up to par with what they were in difficulty. Or maybe I'm just getting that much better. But really, I think that the difficulty levels are way, way drastically diminished. But what are you doing now, Nintendo, to get me to want to move from Mario this to Mario that in those couple of months? Nothing. You didn't have any developer support. That was the big problem. That was why the DS succeeded. You had so many different titles from all these different developers, and it was awesome. It was great. There was always something to go look up. There was always something to go find on IGN that I might have missed. And I still miss some of the DS games that I'm still going back to replay because I'm not moving forward with Nintendo. I'm moving back in time to go check out all the things I missed. But there was no indie developers on there. There was, for a slight time, people like Gaijin Games and Kyle Gabler on the WiiWare system. But they moved on to Steam because they were not getting the sales that their games deserved on WiiWare because Nintendo did nothing to promote that. Maybe they'll send you an email. But, again, Nintendo, are you serious? You think the casual core gives a crap about email notifications for games? Forget about it. They don't care even a little bit. They don't care. If you're going to give them more information about games, they say no, I got this game, that's it. And now, they don't even have to think about it. They could just get free apps. And people just like buying shit, It's stimulating. It's a quick dopamine rush to your brain when you get something new. Oh, look, a new sparkly something that I didn't have to do anything for, but now it's in the palm of my hand. That's what the casual core is doing right now, Nintendo. They're not checking your newsletters. They're not reading your blogs. They don't care about Iwata Says. I care about what Iwata says, and I feel so horrible for slashing Nintendo this whole entire episode. I love them, but I hate their business practices. I really do. I love the inventiveness, the innovation, that's the word, inventiveness, great grammar. I love the innovation that Nintendo brought, and I love these wacky, crazy, insane ideas that come from left field like Pikmin. What? Plant people you pull out of the ground and they go attack bulb orbs and these things? What? Crazy! I'm still a Pokemaniac, and I started out when I was in kindergarten. I'm 20 now. That says something for how amazing the programmers and developers and people with the ideas are at Nintendo. But the business people are tainting those ideas. The business people are demolishing anything. They're completely ruining and defecating all over the hard work that the developers do. And now there's no motivation to come to Wii. There's no motivation to come to Nintendo overall until Nintendo starts to show that they really care about the hardcore. I am going to watch from a good safe distance. I'm going to see if Wii U really goes back to hardcore. They say they will, but they said that with Wii. They said, oh, we got plenty of hardcore things coming, and you had to wait until the end of the Wii's life cycle before you had another Zelda game. And Pikmin 3, not even coming to Wii. That's fine. It's going to be on Wii U. I'm not going to get it until the end of the life cycle when I can fully analyze what you've done. I'm looking forward to the Steam console. I'm really thinking that that's going to come out. But don't let business practices, don't let those pricks in offices who know nothing about gaming or good ideas that are original, those pencil pushers that only want to have the decimal places move back further so you can get more profits, they're pointless. And they are a cancer on your company. They are making me completely sickened with your practice and completely turning away from anything that Nintendo did. I barely cared for Black 2 and White 2. If there was no difficulty level, I probably wouldn't even get it. I'm not LPing it because I know it's just another Pokemon game. And that's hard to say for me. That's really hard to say because Pokemaniac here, you fucking whole childhood in that cartridge, but you're not doing anything new. You're not upgrading the story. You're not telling me anything different. All the myths of the legendaries have become trite. All of them have become prepackaged and formulaic, and it's forgettable. I could care less. The 4th gen was my least favorite because that was the point when I said, all right, enough. I get it already. Yes, I'm a Pokemon trainer. I got to get the 8 badges. I got to stop the evil team. But what else? What else besides extra battles? I guess that's just the way this game's going to go. But it's time to switch gears here. I've been ranting and raving long enough in this gaming gauntlet. Now we're going to move on to some more positive ideas and a great conversation I had with my friend Luigi, and you could check his channel out there. It's great. I recently did a live stream with him of Saints Row, and that's getting uploaded to the channel right now. Slowly but surely, I'm putting it up in episodes, so if anybody wants to play that game, they could just search, whatever the mission was, and boom, it sends you right to it. But this was a car ride over, so please excuse the audio quality, as it definitely will shift from iPad quality to Android quality. It will shift because we were in a car ride over to our friend Matt Goldsman's house for our last hurrah for the summer, because now we're all back in college. I'm at college right now, so you got to game and go, and you got to make sure you can get your content where you can. So this was a fascinating conversation with Pat. I did not really know that this was going to come down to this. I don't know ever what conversations are going to take place. I don't plan anything. I don't even plan these podcasts. I didn't plan that rant that I just did. I hope it was all right. Again, I'm really sorry to Nintendo. I feel like such an asshole because I know how much it sucks when somebody shits on any creative work I do, and I know how much time I take in my things, and that's just video production. That's not even dealing with binary. I love you, Nintendo. Please come back home. Come home to the hardcore. But this is for all those YouTubers out there that are thinking about being partnered by Fullscreen, or are even thinking about maybe not Fullscreen, but just what would a life on YouTube be like? Can I be myself? Truly, can I be myself on YouTube? Or do I need to hide behind disguises? Do I need to hide behind fake names? Nobody's hiding here, people. Nobody's hiding here at all. It's just my real name is too long, way too long. It's just inconsequential to what I'm doing here. But listen, I want to hit you with one blast of motivation because I've been so negative this whole podcast before we go into the interview that you even get to know my real name. Now, of course, this is going to be backwards in FaceTime or whatever the iPad's camera would be called. But this is a signature from Kevin Smith, and it says, "Jonathan, keep being your own boss." And that means the world to me, because it's so satisfying to make profit off of your play, which is what I'm doing. I'm playing video games, and I'm making money. Not a lot of money, but even a couple of cents. Even when I had only minor monetization and I was not partnered with Fullscreen, I was amazed if I made $1 in a month. I was like, whoa, people are watching this and clicking ads and I'm getting revenue? What? It's crazy. And in this generation, in this new world of tech, anybody can transmit what they do. Anybody can play for a living. And I'm not just talking video games. If you're watching this because you just like to listen to podcasts and you just like to listen to rants, you too can do this. You can do whatever it is that interests you here on YouTube. And keep that in mind, guys. Be your own boss. And seriously, strive to do it. I've never had a job. Never had a job. Not official, never had a job. This is my first official job right now. I've worked my entire life at a farm. You know, that didn't pay because it was a family farm, but it was a lot of hard labor. And I knew that with that hard amount of effort I put into it, I never wanted to work that way for a boss again. Not that my parents were a boss. You know, it was for a common interest so that we could all get done and so that we could all enjoy each other's company. So I didn't mind doing it there, but I thought, shit, if this is what work life is like, I'm going to hate the rest of life. What am I going to do? And so I just kept playing. Kept playing, and much like this talk right now and the one you're about to hear, it's all improv. I don't know what I'm doing, I just keep doing it. And if you keep telling yourself that you are something, I, for example, tell myself I'm a Pokemon master. I also tell myself I'm an environmental scientist. Now, while I don't have a degree, and I don't have a championship badge here because there is no real Pokemaster, I am doing sort of a Professor Elm teaching over on Planet Poke. I am doing many walkthroughs about Pokemon on there too. And now I have access to a new community of people who are as interested in what I'm interested in, if not more. And they delve into my content as well as many others like I do, and we all converse and share ideas and collaborate. And that's where creativity bursts and blossoms, and where you realize there's no scarcity of creativity. There's no scarcity of ideas. Don't let anyone tell you that all the good ideas have been thought up. No. Maybe in their mind, all the good ideas have been thought up. But your mind is masterful, and you know how to make it work. So be your own boss, people. And now listen to this conversation with Luigi, where he talks about some of the concerns of being a partner and how it could maybe, or maybe not, interfere and intertwine with your real career.
Private property, no trespassing, violators will be prosecuted.
Heavily.
That's a little strict, damn.
Yeah, I like when they have that.
Oh, yeah?
Because you don't even have to leave your home.
That is nice.
No, I have to Wi-Fi's. I love it. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, I'm sure. Wi-Fi and that's beautiful.
You know, Justin/Twitch TV has gotten a lot more unreasonable lately, I've noticed.
About what?
Just their dashboard and, like, maneuvering around is hard to do.
This fucking truck's in the way, I can barely see. Fuck off. Screw it, saying.
I was saying that when I was trying to get the videos of the stream back from Twitch, I went onto your stream page just to download them.
Right.
And it would let you see the videos, like you could go back to recorded ones, but there's no download option. Like, you could save forever, no download option. Luckily, I remembered that XSplit saves all the videos
to your
C drive.
Yeah.
So that's what saved it. But
well, that's on my Twitch account. I purposely made it so that people couldn't watch my previous streams.
Right, but that should allow you to download your own streams.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's frustrating, but soon, hopefully, we'll have the YouTube live streaming.
Sure. Yeah, although I'm still really dissatisfied with how the YouTube live streaming actually works.
Yeah, what's some of the quirks about it?
The comments.
The comments?
They're so slow and refresh so infrequently.
So it's such a rusty chat.
It's practically unusable.
It's
honestly.
it's like using a forum for a chat.
It's awful. Like, when Goldsman's tried YouTube live streaming a couple of times, and I'm like, dude, I can't even do this, because, like, you can't talk in there. Now, I'm sure, like, internet connections have something to do with it.
Right.
But it's just, for someone, maybe it's just people with slow connections that have problems.
Maybe.
Which is why I have it. But they just...
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense, because the chat, now that's one thing that does work on Justin TV, the chat refreshes normally, like with any connection.
It does it by itself without you having to do anything.
It's just text. It's not like they're sending you video logs of themselves
right.
every step of the way.
And that's why I don't see why it's such a big problem on YouTube's live streaming.
Yeah.
But literally, you know how you can set your YouTube comments to either update automatically or to you choose to do it.
Right.
If you set them to update automatically, you will never get an update. You will never get an update.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So what I had to do to see any comments at all was to make it so I choose when they come down. And when it says comment one comment waiting to be seen, or whatever the stupid thing says.
Uh-huh.
You click on it, and then it shows the comment. But even then, it's still really slow. And the fact that you have to manage seeing every comment.
Yeah, right. Like while you're trying to do a gaming live stream, like imagine if during the last one we did, every time we wanted to see comments, we have to refresh.
Exactly.
Like
That'd
the only way that works,
That'd
the only way that works is with two people.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awful.
Exactly. So I'm still really dissatisfied with YouTube live streaming. They have to fix the comments.
Yeah. Huh. That's interesting.
The quality's fine. Like I don't. Goldsman's complaining like
it's not
standard
super,
def.
Yeah, it's not
like,
super
dude,
1080p.
It's not a big deal. Like,
yeah. I like it just because it's automatic content and it archives right there.
Yeah, that's nice. Because when you're done with the stream, actually a video. It's already a YouTube video.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm fine with that. Just fix the comments.
Some of the stream that I had to go back and just re-record it with Bandai Cam from not my movie player, but Windows Media Player, because for whatever reason, I guess the YouTube censors went off, and they thought that some of the gameplay was belonging to like two different companies, and then I got like a community strike on it, but I refuted it, and thankfully one of them's removed, so that took off the strike.
That's good.
But the other one's still processing, and it's just like ridiculous. I can't even upload like the first parts, so I had to go re-back and record them. It's just like absurd how many times you have to do it over and over again just to get one piece of content up there.
Oh yeah, the copyright thing on YouTube itself is just so ridiculously harsh.
Yeah. I tried even emailing Fullscreen about it. They didn't really respond.
Maybe there isn't much they can do.
Yeah, that's totally possible too, because it's just YouTube censors going off.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, how does your censors, are they really that out of whack where, because our faces were in the video, you know, they're right on the corner. It's not just like pure introductions, and it's not like the sound was the best quality either.
Yeah.
It's just so strange. I don't know what they base their algorithm of copyright infringement on.
I don't know, but it's a pretty shitty one.
Yeah.
There's just so many instances where it makes no sense.
Yeah. Well, you don't monetize any of your videos, so you don't run into that.
I can't.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. There was a time when you could argue with YouTube that what you're doing was educational, and it technically is. It's like an online strategy guide that you don't even need to go buy.
Yeah,
like,
as a test, when I got monetization on the channel, as a test, I tried to monetize 15 of my Soccer Awards videos, just as a test, to see what would happen. Only 2 of them, 2 out of 15, were available for monetization.
Wow.
I'm like, are you kidding me? This isn't even fucking worth it.
Yeah, no, you're wasting your time.
Exactly.
It used to be something that when it was in beta mode, you could do a lot of, because I guess you were the first testers, so they would just approve it to see if it would work. Yeah. But I remember it getting pretty difficult there on out, trying to get anything monetized, and even some of my vlogs, like for the DGZ blog channel, even some of them are not approved.
Wow.
And that's just my face.
That's bullshit. Yeah, your face is anyone else's property but your own.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Oh man, all the Benny traffic.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Otherwise I'm gonna have to let 100 of those assholes in.
Mm-hmm. So you're like at the 600 mark?
640-ish. No, 647.
And you have contacted Fullscreen or not yet?
I mean, the initial time where they're like, go to Youch. Alright. Since then I haven't, because, I mean, I know this would sound ridiculous to you, but I've almost got this fear of it.
Yeah?
Like, of the whole partnership thing. Not that it's like, because it's a contractual obligation or anything like that, but like, my name is already out there on the internet. And I'm fine with that in itself.
Yeah.
But the problem that I see when I become a partner, if I were to become one, is that I'm afraid that my name would be so exemplified that it would be, like, difficult to find a career when I actually am out of college.
Oh, well, you think that...
I have this fear that I won't be able to find a job if I become a partner. I know it makes no sense, but...
So because you actually took control of something in your life and became kind of entrepreneurial about your passion, which in this case is video games, and they can't judge you for what your passion is, I mean, unless it's something perverted and wrong and against the law, then that's different, but it's not. It's playing video games. And so because you actually found a way to monetize
it's not even the video games themselves.
Yeah.
It's me, my cursing in the videos.
Oh.
How I'm not always.
Well, those videos are
how
there.
I'm not always 100% appropriate.
Right. So there's a time and a place for everything. Obviously, you're not going to curse like that in the workplace.
Well, yeah, I know.
I mean, they could do a background check on you at any time, and I think they've got your whole collective work. They've got your Facebook link to your YouTube link to anything they want if they really want to find you.
Yeah, I know
it's,
that.
It's easy enough to type in your name and then boom, there your videos pop up. So
I know.
And like all the companies these days do Google background checks. Like if you're that paranoid about worrying about the language, then you might as well get rid of your account because they're going to find that.
Yeah, but one of the other parts of my thinking was that if that was an issue, then yeah, now people could have always downloaded videos, but get rid of the account. I mean, if it came down to that,
right,
that is a viable option. Not one I necessarily want to do.
Not at all.
But, you know, I don't know. The whole thing confuses me because I don't know if I do try to go get a job when I'm out of college, if it would be an issue to begin with.
Right.
If it's an issue, then I don't know. The whole thing is there's so many unknowns about the future that I'm so stagnant about being a partner. I don't know.
Right. I don't know. It's unfortunate because it's like you're thinking about this future career that might or might not exist, and because of that, you know, maybe, you know, that very, very hairy maybe that the possibility of that future career not liking your YouTube stuff prevents you from earning money now. It just seems annoying.
Yeah. Well, it's just. I don't know. It's just this fear I have. It's probably,
Because, what are you looking to do? Government something, or?
Well, yeah, like a city hall or municipal building. Like, it's just something simple. I'm not looking for some high-end federal position that has tons and tons of responsibility. Like, maybe like a local or state government thing that, you know.
Right.
But I just don't know how it works. Because I don't know how the background check works and what they're going to come after me for. Is keeping me from taking action.
Yeah, as long as you pay your taxes, I'm pretty sure that nobody's looking to do too many background checks on you.
Yeah.
You've never hit any red flags before, have you?
No.
Yeah, it's not like you're a terrorist in the airport or something.
Yeah, I know. Like, I talked to Goldsman about it, and he's like, well, dude, it's justified because you're trying to put on, like, entertainment on that. Like, it's not like that's you.
Yeah, when they go for an interview, they're going to hear what your story is first outside of videos. Then if they see videos, and they also have to keep into consideration the date, these are videos you did when you were 20. These are videos, when you did in your teens. Are they really going to penalize you for that?
I don't know. And that not knowing is what's keeping me from wanting to be a partner.
Right. That's interesting. Quite a predicament.
Yeah. I'm not really sure how accurate my concerns are.
See, the way I use it, the way I present it towards people is you're a video creator. You're a content generator. And what the background of full screen, having them on your side does is kind of legitimizes you. Because you could say, yeah, I'm a content creator, just like anybody can say, yeah, I'm an artist. But what does it mean if you haven't moved any units or you haven't entertained anybody on a mass scale? Not saying that that's the only way to success, but when you have them in your quiver, when you have the fact that you've been affiliated with a company that actually works with a lot of credible companies. I don't know if you've seen their site, but they've worked with like Nintendo, and they've worked with a lot of really big legitimate companies to get people partnered.
Yeah.
And it's an industry, it's an entertainment industry. So if you can kind of put yourself out there as this is what I am, I'm Luigi, and look, I've been making money so far on my own. I think I can handle whatever I'm going to do in this company as well. It almost sort of acts as a benefit for you more than as something that hurts you.
Maybe.
Because before this, personally for me, I could only say that I was a farmhand, and that doesn't matter on a resume. They don't care.
Yeah.
So what? You worked, did physical labor for a long time, handled 1,000-pound animals. It doesn't really matter in this firm here. not that I'd ever be going for a firm, but in that sort of situation, the job that you're looking for, that doesn't apply.
Yeah.
But what does is when you're with a legitimate company that I've done a lot of background checking into it, they don't seem scam worthy at all, and I've been getting paychecks. I actually just got one like yesterday. That really helps out your status in the working world, I feel.
Yeah.
Because you could have just worked at like Quiznos for 5 years and also done Brookdale, and that's not as impressive as someone who's done Brookdale, had a side job, and also did something entrepreneurial on their own. That shows that you're a go-getter. At every point in your day, you're doing something. You're producing content. You're satisfying someone, and that's what I think a company would want to see, probably.
Yeah, I guess that's true. And I guess what I said before about, worst case scenario, I could just delete it. I could do that as a partner, too.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, as long as the contract, isn't like Machinima's where they're forcing you to create content.
No. The only thing they ask is you make like one video a month. That's, the bare minimum, just to show activity on your channel.
And you're able to end this at any time? I mean...
Yeah, you can. Yep, it's up to you.
Right.
Thoroughly read through your contract so you understand what it's about. But the way mine worked is, I can cancel at any time. It's a 2-year contract, so if I want to re-up with them, I can. But see, that's something different from Machinima. Machinima had lifelong binding contracts for very low percentages towards kids who didn't really understand how to read contracts in the fine print. What Fullscreen has here, they've been partnering a lot of people. If somebody was getting ripped off, I think it would have come out by now. But personally, for me, my contract was legitimate. It's to the terms that I'm looking for. It's an acceptable percentage of AdSense for me to get. It's also a good payout rate too. It's consistent, and I can end it whenever I feel that it's necessary.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're just promoting my work. I've been getting a lot more subs thanks to Planet Poke, because people are now branching off and seeing other things that I do, or really my work is branching off and people in other realms get to see what I do.
Right.
And it helps you come up in search terms more often too. I recently just checked out my Crystal walkthrough. I just typed in Pokemon Crystal just to see what would come up, and then like a number. And mine was like 4th or 5th, maybe even 6th on certain videos, down from Chugga Conroy's at the top. So that says to me that it's really starting to move. People are really starting to see the series now, because when you can come up in search terms, that's how you know you're reaching people.
Yeah.
Because if you don't come up in search terms, you have kind of the stagnant views that hit maybe 100, 150, 500 tops, and then you never get views on it again. Now, there's certain videos that I've done that have reoccurring views because it's like a feature of a game that people constantly look up, and that's a good way also to get in people's eyeballs as well, because then they see that, they see you talking like you know what you're really saying on that video, and then they're like, alright, he knows what he's saying, let me go to his channel, and wow, he does Let's Plays, I like Let's Plays, let me subscribe too. So I mean, it's all about marketing yourself, and you have to really think of yourself as your own top commodity, because that's what your end game going to be presenting to whatever company you work for as a career. What are you to them as a commodity? Are you really worth something that needs to be hired? Are you really up there in the aptitude of skills? Did you go through all the rigors of knowledge and gaining that status? Did you get up there, or were you just lackadaisical in your pursuit?
Right.
But, I definitely think having entrepreneurship on your side in the way of video creation is a major plus for anyone, really.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it's just my perspective on it. I mean, you could have all the options in the world you want. You could still terminate under partnership. But at least the videos you make, like now, this is something that's wonderful. I've got 2 weeks of content ready to be published on my channel without me even doing anything.
Yeah.
Because now I have Wi-Fi, so I could stockpile on the channel. So, meanwhile I'm at college and I'm focusing on my studies, my channel on its own, that's something you get with partnership, is the publish later option. My channel on its own is constantly putting out new content, and I am still reaping the benefits of it because it's all not all copyright. It's all claimed, so you can monetize it, and you don't run into copyright infringement. It's not like 2 out of 15 videos of Sakura Wars being approved for monetization. It's all of it.
Yeah.
So long as you don't run into a copyright infringement beforehand.
Yeah.
But that's a beautiful thing. The fact that it's starting to do it on its own. Now your work is becoming so immense where you've got enough content to provide without you physically being there and without you having to physically worry about it every single day. Oh, do I have enough time to upload? Do I have enough time to, wait out my computer? So you could set your uploads to go at night while nobody's using the computer or the Wi-Fi, so it goes really fast and you're not hindered by it in the morning. Then by day you could use your laptop for whatever and then set those to publish later once you edit all the video data.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess thinking about it, partner or not, my name is out there.
Right, and it's always going to be out there from now on.
And worst case scenario, like I said, if it was an issue trying to find the career, I could always take down the channel.
Right.
I feel like as long as I have that backbone of an option, I feel like I guess it's not that big a deal after all.
Yeah. You just have to make sure they don't pull a machinima on you, and so far I haven't heard anybody getting that kind of stick.
Good. Alright, well, yeah, I guess maybe that changes my mind a little bit.
Yeah. Because I just hate to see that kind of good content going to waste, because you're definitely an entertainer to some degree.
Yeah.
Even though you're working towards a government position, that's just more of a solid career. But you've got a good taste, a good knack already for entertaining. You do voices pretty well. And that's a talent that shouldn't be ignored, especially in the age of the internet when everybody can distribute themselves like that, and you've got the distribution of YouTube already working for you, 600 subs plus. You definitely should be making something off of that. You definitely should be making back for your time.
Yeah.
And I tell you, that's the most satisfying thing. When video games start to pay for video games, that's just the best feeling of all.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, I played games to play more games. That is just the perfect unison of what my gaming needs to be.
Yeah, that's true.
Nobody can yell at you anymore. What are you doing wasting your time playing all those video games? I'm entertaining people. I am an entertainment beacon, a node, a network of my own that will provide gaming footage for people who are interested. We are amongst millions. Although we live in many basements, we are many. We are legion! And we do watch videos.
Classy.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you, but you will find more trolls, I'm sure, once you start making content for the other channels. Because the way that Fullscreen does it is they'll partner you, and then they'll say, hey, could you help us out with one of our affiliate channels like Yoush or Planet Poke or Twitch, Tiny Galaxy. That's the mobile gaming area.
Right.
But, once you start making a lot of stuff on there, sometimes you'll discover trolls because it's a bunch of people's subs coming into one pot. And that's the big benefit of it. I've got 4K, Planet Poke's got over 10K right now. So all those different subs, all those different creators' subs are mixing together and finding my content. It's not guaranteed that all of them are going to like it, and it's not guaranteed that all of them are going to be courteous in the least bit.
That's true. The criticism I don't really mind.
Yeah, you have fun with the trolls, but I'm just warning you that you will start to notice more trolls. Like, before I was partnered, it was just pretty much me, the people from Nintendo Radio, Pokemon fans who may have found my stuff, and really hardcore fans.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's what your following's like at this point, but as you start to get up into the higher numbers, that's where run into more douchebags just because there's a higher number, but it doesn't mean that it's a bad sub.
Oh, yeah.
It's just funny to watch the trolls squirm.
Oh, it definitely. Yeah, like I said, the only concern I have about being a partner is the future career effect.
Right.
That's the only concern. And, I guess thinking about it, the concern doesn't really make too much sense.
Mm-hmm.
You would agree with that, right?
Yeah, definitely. I've never known that to be a bad thing. The more that you can tell a boss, somebody who's going to hire you, the more you can tell them of your accomplishments, whether it's in your community, whether it's, entrepreneurial, making business, having money for yourself, whatever you do, that just adds to your value.
Yeah.
It really does.
True that.
What takes away from your value is if you're sitting around playing video games and really not doing anything with it. If you're not going anywhere, but you're just continuing to enjoy video games, people may look down on that. That's something I found immediately when I switched to I play video games to my job is video games, for the moment. People actually gave you more respect because, you're doing something that is sort of unheard. It's a very new thing that people can actually make money off of playing video games as a regular career.
Yeah.
But if you just tell people you play video games, they're like, oh, you nerd, what are you doing wasting your time?
Yeah,
but meanwhile, there are people I run into daily in B-Dale that are like, yeah, I've played Minecraft, it's amazing. Yeah, I've played Skyrim, it's awesome. They wouldn't per se call themselves gamers, but, if that's your thing and you're not really doing much with it, you're not growing with it, you're not finding a way to kind of evolve with your content, like that's something I had to find out how to do with Pokemon. I had to find out, alright, I'm 20 years old now, definitely can't really collect the toys and like the cards and everything like I used to. I mean, I still can and I do, but it's for a different purpose now.
Yeah.
It's not so I could sit in my room and play with my toys. It's so I can, sit in my room with a camera on and film some videos.
Yeah,
and not educate, but entertain a younger audience, a younger generation who would have been inspired by seeing toys like that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have that when I was a kid. I could only hope that I would get some new toy, some new Pokemon figure eventually.
Yeah.
But now people can go online, search in their favorite character, and boom, there's an unboxing, and you can get a really good HD look at what it is.
Yeah.
So, really, if you want to continue to, I guess, enjoy your passion without being judged, not that you really should care what other people think, but in the case of hiring, then it's smart to evolve with what you love. So it's smart to find a way to integrate video games in something like a podcast or something like, a video walkthrough that can be monetized.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it looks better if I was found as this YouTube content creator in a background check, and I was found to be that, then I guess it'd be better that I found making money off of it than found not making money off of it.
Yeah, right, because either way, I mean, they're going to find you. Like, even if you do delete your YouTube account, nothing's ever deleted on the internet, dude. I mean, if they really wanted to find out what they want to find out, and they're like, oh, he had a YouTube account, why did he delete it? It looks more suspicious. I mean, I remember Goldsman telling me that there are some jobs now that will not hire people if they don't have Facebook.
Yeah, but I asked my mom, like, I was thinking about this kind of thing a little while back, because she's been trying to find a job lately. And I asked her, how about the background checks? Like, are they, like, really hyper-invasive or anything like that? And she's like, no.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I don't know what firm that was that looked for everyone to have a Facebook.
That's
over the top.
That seems pretty extreme.
That's
it really
over the top.
So, I'm thinking, like, if I do delete my YouTube channel, I feel like that the majority of places aren't going to go that in-depth to, like, find it.
Bring it back from the depths.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like, and truth be told, my name is not linked to my account in text. Only in words. Only in video.
Right.
And I've never said my own name on a video, except in Persona 4. Where, but again, no comments. Like, if you search, I've done it, and Haluigi doesn't really come up.
Right. It's more other things.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm almost, and because of that, I feel like that any place that's going to look me up, yeah, they might very well find a YouTube channel, but I don't know, I almost feel like they wouldn't try that hard to, like, search me if I did delete the account.
Right.
Most places. I mean, I'm sure there are some that are hyper-invasive with background checks, but
even
I wouldn't want a job there anyway.
That's exactly what you should be saying to yourself, because if there's a firm that doesn't want you to make money on your own merits, then you shouldn't want to work with them, because that means they're backwards thinking, and they're probably going to be running themselves in the ground business-wise anyway in a couple of years. You want to go with the firm that's open-minded and sees what you've done and how that's really been entrepreneurship, and not just a waste of time.
Yeah.
So, go full steam ahead with partnership and your YouTube, and make that really your own content creation to show people that you're serious about what you do.
True.
Glad I changed your opinion on that, because that would have been really both a buzzkill if you deleted the channel, or if you just continued to not make anything worth your channel. Not saying that it's not worth getting just subs, but you can make subs on top of making revenue back to pay for the games that will eventually go back into your walkthroughs.
Yeah.
I can think that I've bought, that Super Indie Summer that I had over this past 3 months, that was all thanks to Steam and Full Screen Check, and I was able to purchase all those games for like under $100, and that gave me like so many different content, even if not many people saw it because it's a weird game, it's an indie game. It gave me a lot of different content to put out there, and I still have more games to record thanks to the Full Screen Checks. So that's fantastic. The fact that it can just go directly back into what you're doing, that alone is worth doing.
Yeah.
Because it's like the viewers, without doing anything but just viewing your content and sitting through an ad, they're helping you get more content for them to consume.
Yeah.
And instead of being like an e-beggar, where you're like, please guys, donate, I need money, we can't do this game unless you donate. And there have been people who have donated, and it has been cash flow to get new games, but that hasn't been a regular thing for me to ask. There's like a donate link on my site, but that's about it.
Yeah.
People may donate during streams, but that's the extent of it. But you don't have to, rely on that one sole tactic of, begging people for money.
Oh God.
Just them watching your videos is enough. Just say, thanks guys, watch, share if you like it, and favorite it if you really like it. Just all the normal stuff they do on YouTube without any strings attached.
Yeah.
And the way I think of it, when people complain to me that there's ads on a video, especially if there's mid-roll ads, is, at least the way I do it, some days I'm giving you a half hour of content. Tell me where there's a TV station that will give you a true half hour of content, because usually it's more 20-hour programming and, 10 minutes of commercials, sometimes more, and less content. But where can you find that on TV where you have that much content, sometimes more, on certain days, and it's only a 15-second ad?
Yeah.
That you can mute. That you can open up a new tab on in your internet browser, and I still believe it counts towards earning the content creator revenue.
Right.
So, how can you complain with that? You could be doing so many things online and being entertained for practically free.
Yeah.
Practically the cost of your internet, and nobody's taking too much of anything from anyone. It's just an exchange of content and some entertainment, and their thanks is just being there, watching the video for you.
Yeah.
It's a good process.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a lot better than making a business that runs off of the back of shady ideals and backwards business practices, things that are dishonest in order to make more profit.
Oh, yeah.
There's no... I guess there's ways you could rip off your viewers, but I can't think of any. I don't look to do that, so... Exactly. But I'm saying, instead of doing that, which is sometimes how people go down the path, you can rely on a real business practice that is just generating wealth based on your entertainment value.
Yeah.